What's up, y'all? It is Kiara the woman, and welcome to another affair of a Single Mother Success podcast where we discuss all things womanhood and provide weekly doses of self love, empowerment, and insight to the mental and spiritual being of you as a woman, no matter where you are in your womanhood journey. What's up to all of my women? Welcome back. This is your warm, womanly welcome. And I'm not gonna try to say that 3 times fast, but welcome back if you were listening or if you have been listening. And then welcome to any new women that we have joining us on this episode. Disregard how like I'm sounding. I feel like I sound a little sick because my throat is a little like scratchy. I did the hot tea. I tried to prepare, but this is what we have. So yeah, anyways, let's just get right into it, shall we? Okay, so I told y'all in the post that we were doing work this week, and we are talking about sacrificing our old self, sacrificing the woman that we used to be in order to make room and make space for the women we are to become. We are aspiring and wanting and desiring to become. So, that y'all know that when I come on here on these podcasts, I be talking to y'all about what it just be staff meetings that I'm just letting y'all hear. So, of course, sacrificing your old self. When I thought about this in the midst of thinking about, okay, so like what does that look like to sacrifice your old self, right? So the question that I posed to myself was, well, what are you willing to give up? So to sacrifice, let me actually, because y'all know I do like to self-define words. So let me give y'all the Google them definition first. Sacrifice definition. Okay, so yeah, Google's definition says, what can we use the okay. So the Google definition, I don't think I like any of these. This is why I be self-defining, because it's talking about a bunch of other stuff that it's okay, the act of slaughtering an animal or a person or surrendering a possession as an offering to God or to a divine supernatural figure. That's not the definition I was going for. Offer or kill as a religious sacrifice. That's not the what is the one for chess? Deliberately allow one's opponent to win. A move intended to allow. Okay, no. See? Okay, so now I'm finna self-define because I don't like none of them definitions. So, self-defining sacrifice, in my own words, it means to give up something. It means to let go of. It means to be without. When you, it means to, I want to say lose something, but I guess we can say lose something. So it means to lose something. It means to give up something. It simply put. So that's what we're gonna go with. Okay, so that's how the question came about. Okay, what are you willing to give up? Because to me, to sacrifice something means to give something up. So, and just a heads up, it's hard for me to talk about sacrifice without speaking on how the start of the sacrifice of me sacrificing my old self was simultaneously at the start of me experiencing God in a way I never have before either. So, as I've mentioned on a few of these episodes, these past 7 years of my life, dude, back, this is what I have to reference from. So I'm gonna be referencing from this place a lot because I did a lot of growing. Well, I went through a lot to receive a lot of growth on the end at the end of those 7 years. So this is my reference for right now until God give me some more stuff to talk to y'all about, some more trials and tribulations. But right now we got 7 years to unpack in season 1 of the ASMS podcast, the Womanhood Podcast, inspired by Romans 5:19. Go check the scripture out if you haven't already. Back to our show. So it's just hard for me to not speak about spirituality, my spirituality, during the time that this sacrificing of my old self like started to happen at the same time. So for the last 7 years of my life, I wasn't grounded in anything that had substance, and I also wasn't as grounded spiritually as I thought that I was. Like, I thought I was. So, like I always say, go inward and do the work inward before you go outside of yourself, or before you turn outward for anything to change. Because if you look at everybody else in the picture, nothing changes. Only you can change you in your life. You're the main character in your life, and that's the only character you can edit. So y'all know me. As soon as I pose myself a little question and I be like, well, how are we gonna answer? I may be telling my age now, but y'all remember when Steve on Blue's Clues, whenever they got like a little clue or something, down doing a little dance and then flip into the picture. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you don't even need to be on this podcast. I'm just playing. We invite all women, young and wise, to listen to our podcast. So you can stay, sis, as long as your mama know you listening. Anyways, though, so I was rambling just then. I need a little button or something. Anyways, so like I was saying, I had a little staff meeting at the little round table. It was my soul, my flesh, and Elohim. And we was all sitting there, and I was just looking like, okay, what's up? And so in the conversation, what? I don't like the window. Well, that's the conversation you got to have with her. Okay, so in that conversation, this question was posed, like I said already, what are you willing to give up? And like, in the sense of, what are you willing to give up for the life that you want, to receive everything you've been manifesting, to become the woman you desire to be, in order for this transformation to take place, to change your world for the better and for the good. That was like the entirety of the question that my soul literally asked my flesh. And like Elohim was just sitting there like, well, dude, what's the answer? So I, of course, had to think about it. And the thought process when it came to that did not take long. So um excuse me, y'all, let me get some water. My son super sneezes and stuff. Got me out here looking crazy in these, sounding crazy in these streets. Okay, so who got some water? Anyways, Realizing the severity of this meeting, my answer was short and sweet, and the answer was risk it all. Nothing was off the table. No thing, no people, no relationships, whatever, whatever, all being the entirety of my whole self. Whatever I needed to sacrifice, I was willing to sacrifice. So I was, yeah, sacrifice to. Oh, I'm getting tongue tied because it's so like I'm so passionate now about this, because if I wouldn't have, like, I would just still be in the same place as I was, and it just was not a good place. So I'm just passionate because I want y'all to know that it's possible. Okay, let me not go off on a tangent. Anyways, so I was willing to sacrifice the girl that I was for the woman I had been desiring to be. I had given myself this woman I desired to be, and the image was of myself, but it was just in a better light. So I was willing to sacrifice the girl in me for the woman I was desiring to be. I was willing to sacrifice her and everything that came with her, all the bags, her trauma, the company she kept, the way she like was managing our life, her negative self-talk. Like, my soul was literally looking at my flesh at that table like, girl, ain't you tired of feeling like this? Ain't you tired of attracting the same people and the same shit? Like, aren't you ready to live the life you dream about and talk about when you be manifesting? Like, sis was fed up, okay? She was just so upset. And my flesh is like, damn, yeah, I guess I am motherfucking tired. So, of course, after coming to that realization and having that conversation and, coming back to, and you know, just settling back in, it was just cookies and creams, endless joy and laughter, right? Because as soon as we make a decision and we decide that we're gonna change, everything just gets better, right? Child, please. Okay, this was the hardest thing I ever had to do thus far in my whole life. I mean, breaking and destroying 27 years of mental, spiritual, and emotional construction. 27 years of it, like a year. I think that, no, they say a day in God's eyes is like 12,000 years or 1,200 years or something like that. And then 1,200 years is a day. But listen, do that math. 27 years of mental, spiritual, and emotional reconstruction. Like, no, sis, not at all. The simple thought of, like, that simple thought had me like, I don't know how. I don't know how the fuck I'm gonna do this, but I just know it got to happen. So now, of course, the flesh part of me, because that's what we battle with. So the flesh part of me went into overthinking, and literally, I literally had to analyze the importance of everything I was about to risk. Like, this is after leaving the gambling table. You're like, yeah, take my house and my car keys and stuff. Now you sitting there like, okay, you done signed the contract. And now you like, okay, shit, was that a good idea? Should I have made this commitment? Should I have said that out loud? Because now I got the once you say something out loud, you kind of gotta you got to do it if you're gonna say it out your mouth. So now I'm just overthinking, and it's like, you know, I think I'm pretty sure now that I'm like reflecting on it, I literally just had to understand that the decision was already decision was at, like, had already been made final in my soul at the table. So in the flesh though, I just went through the emotions that I thought I needed to go through. I took the steps I felt necessary to feel like to comfort my flesh, basically, not give in to it, not fall victim to it, but just comfort it while we undergo this change and undergo this process of change. So here I am analyzing the importance of these things, or the lack thereof, really questioning myself about things. You know how when you going through stuff, you look at it like, do I need this? Why have I kept this? Da, 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 da. So I'm like, okay, do I have this because it's a crutch? Like, is that what I have this for? Is that what this person is this person a security blanket? Is that a security blanket? Like, am I shielding myself from something I've been suppressing or not facing? Like, real deep questions because I have a trauma block, like, intense questions. Is this relationship really important, or is this codependency? Am I holding on to this item because it reminds me of the good times I had with someone? Or am I kind of holding on to it because I wish we could have had more good times than bad times? The that analyzation sorry y'all. That analyzation led me to this truth. I was holding on to past moments where I felt good and alive, and I wasn't living presently because presently I didn't feel good or alive. So yeah, that's when if I had like a soundboard, which I'm gonna invest in one for the pod, but if I had one right now, like I would just press the little purge alarm sound button thing. I think that's really just a bullhorn, and y'all just renamed it to be the purge sound. Okay, because when I was at Oak Hill Elementary School, they used to do that for us to come inside. So I ain't know nothing about no purge then. So it's gonna be the bullhorn alarm until further notice. It's above me now. Anyways, so yeah, that's when I came to that and like that realization from that analyzation, that's when the purge alarm, like the bullhorn alarm, sounded in my head. And at that point it was just over for the little girl in me. So yeah, that was just her last day. After that, it was like, all right, baby, you got to sit on down and just sit right here until somebody tell you to move, basically. So just get out the way. I had to sit the little girl down to me so the woman in me can come on out. Yeah. So in my process, of transforming and becoming this woman that I'm still becoming, because I'm constantly evolving. For those of you who don't know me and are getting to know me, everything I do in my right mind and in a healthy space, of course, has meaning. And ooh, honey, I need to take something. Um, what was I saying? All right. So yeah, everything I do in my right mind in a healthy space has meaning, of course, and I usually give meanings to like things that I do or that I have, or that, like, if I get a tattoo, it's going to have some type of meaning of why I'm getting it. Like, the tattoo is going to symbolize something. I'm going to tell you what the purpose was in getting it, or if I commit an action, what my purpose was in committing the action, what it did symbolize, what was the meaning behind, all of that stuff. So in this process, I did exactly that. For those of you who do know me, here is the start I started my lock journey October 23rd, 2015. And my locks, for those of you that don't know me, I did have locks before I had this fade that I do now, this fabulous fade. So yeah, I started my lock journey October 23rd, 2015, and my locks have been growing with me throughout this whole 7-year journey. And at the end of this 7-year journey, they had collected just as much trauma as I had. They had never felt as heavy as they did, or maybe they did and I just didn't feel it because I had become so numb in those 7 years, like so numb and unattached. Like the only thing that really brought genuine emotion out of me was my son. So outside of that, it was numb and I was not really there, but it may have seemed like it because I just learned to adapt, I guess, in my situation versus changing it, which I think is a gem or a jewel, whichever you prefer. Um when you choose, you have to make the decision to change your situation or adapt to it. So at that time, like I said, I was numb. So maybe they have always been this heavy, but or that heavy because I don't have them now presently recording. So maybe that had always been that heavy. So anyways, when I was thinking about it, like, yeah, I could have gotten them detox, but the severity of the transformation called for me to start over, which I'm still gonna detox them, and I'm probably just gonna reattach a few of them to the top of my fade and just leave my hair like this. So because I did love my locks, I still love my locks. That's why I kept my babies. I'm gonna detox them and put the ones who have symbolisms attached to them back in my head after cleaning them and stuff. But anyway, so um and I've also like done everything I could possibly do with my hair besides cut it. And what's funny is I said that same thing when I had locks. So now I'm just getting to love myself in this space with no hair, a fade, short close fade, like I've never had my hair cut before or had to rock a haircut. So yeah, I get to see myself in this space and love myself in this image and know, not even know if I can, but know that I can truly love myself in any shape, form, or fashion. Also, shout out to my barber. He's the best right now for me. So I'm going to keep going to his chair. He makes me feel comfortable and he like cuts my hair nice every time. So yeah, shout out to him. Anyways, cutting my hair was a part of the sacrifice physically. I had changed my number, and that was the sacrifice for like a couple of personal relationships. I completely severed the head of one in particular. And that was one that I thought was going with me where Elohim was taking me, but no, ma'am. So I completely severed that one. No chance in that one ever resurfacing. I know for sure, and I'm okay with that. So I did all of this out of obedience and instruction to the process of the sacrificing. And I'm not gonna lie, it actually felt good. Now, post transformation, right? The embrace of the transformation had to come. So I was talking to my therapist, and she was like, so, what if you cut your hair? And you get like this shock and you don't like it, or you this or you that. And my response was like, girl, I already love it. I already love it. I've prepared myself to love what I see in the mirror as soon as I get out that barber chair. So, but the barber who cut me the first time is not the barber that I have now. So I think if I would have went to the barber that I have now the first time, you probably wouldn't have been able to even tell me nothing. So, which you still wasn't able to tell me nothing the first time, because like I told my therapist, I already loved it. So yeah. So yeah, embracing the transformation outside of talking to my therapist, I knew already prior to talking to my therapist that I needed to already be okay and already decide that I was gonna love the image that I seen when I got out the barber chair. And I also had to come up with, well, not even also had to, but I had already created new responses for the world's shock to my transformation. And I remain confident in it. So when I say the world shock, I mean like to other people, kind of like what their shock to me cutting my hair, because I know when I've seen people cut their locks, I'm like, oh, no, they didn't. You cut them. What? Like that whole spiel. So, yeah, I was in that group. And now I'm on the other side and I'm like, damn, I see why they could have done it, or why somebody needed to. So, um yeah, I just remained confident in the transformation and decided that I knew why I did it, and I did it for myself. I didn't do it for nobody else. So it was easy to stand in it, you know what I mean? Because I was standing up for myself, which is a characteristic of Kiara the woman, and Kiara the girl did not possess that. As much as it may have looked like it for some, like I did when I wasn't in a relationship. When I got into a relationship, at least like a toxic one will have you like not being confident in yourself. It'll have you, oh, anyways, that's a whole nother pod. Anyways, let's keep it rolling on past that. So I was confident in my haircut. I was confident in the change in my number, the severance of that relationship, the exposure of my truth, like coming out on this podcast and talking about these 7 years. Like it gets better. I have plenty of things to share. And of course, the more y'all fuck around, the more y'all gonna find out. I just had to say that because it came to my mind and it made me laugh a little bit. So I had also become confident in my new boundaries that I had set. I just want to make sure I mentioned that because that was an important one to me. Being able to stand in new boundaries that I had set. And I started going to the gym, reading more than I did currently. I picked up writing again, like in my journal, because I used to journal every day. So I started back doing that. I applied pressure to my business and I began living in the beginning process and stages of the woman I had desired to become. So, and she's still becoming, of course, because, like I said, I refuse to stop evolving and to just become stagnant. I just that worked for Kiera the girl, not Kiera the woman. There's a difference. So, yeah, I'm more secure than ever now. I'm more loved than ever. I'm more desired than ever. I'm more chosen than ever. And okay, wait, clarity. I feel like I need to clear this up. Let me make sure my throat clear. I'm more loved than ever, more desired than ever, and I'm more chosen than ever, and I'm more secure than ever by me first. I'm more loved, secured, desired, and chosen more than ever by me first. I secure me first. I love me first. I desire me first and I choose me first. And that that right there, that's the best part about the sacrificing of my old self, is because that, like, Oh, anyway, so yeah, it's just me first at the moment. Now, not to downplay the DMs, because the DMs are lit too, but that's not what it's about. I am single, but I am not available. But the DMs still be popping. I pop my head in every now and then and be like, who in here? And then I just pop back out because that's just not my focus right now. Sorry, not sorry. Anyways, moral of the story is sacrifice your old self, even if you have to lose a few. And honestly, don't be in the mind frame that you even lose. You learn and you live. That's what I have adopted. I'm not here to tell nobody what to do. So just act like I didn't say, like, get in the mind frame. I didn't tell you what to do. I'm just suggesting that this is what I do. I took myself out of the mind frame that I'm sacrificing the old. I sacrifice the old you, even if you lose a few. It's like, okay, I'm not losing anything, but everything that I don't need. And that's not even a loss if you don't need it. So now I learn and I live. I live and I learn. I apply, I execute, and I evolve. That is what I do. That's my life in however many words I just said. Y'all count them up and put it in the comments, because I'm not finna go back and count. Anyways, so I also thought about, like, whatever you let go while I'm, like, closing, because I really need to stop talking. I need some more water, and I know I probably sound terrible, but I still have to deliver and make sure that y'all get this content for the pod, so we're staying consistent. Anyways, so like I was saying, when you let go of stuff for the better, you'll receive better, like tenfold. What you let go of for the better is a small thing compared to what you'll receive for letting it go. That was another thought. Like, this is my whole thought process. This is what organized overthinking looks like and sounds like. This podcast. Here it is, finally. I guess I'm gonna add that somewhere on something. Anyways, besides letting go is like, I was saying that's besides the point. Letting go is equivalent to making room, in my opinion. Like, the way I see it, the longer you held on to something, the more room it took up. So once you let it go and, like, you no longer have it in your possession, now you got this huge space to receive something just as big or bigger, but I guarantee you it'll be bigger. Even if by a little bit, it'll be bigger and it'll be different, but you have the room to receive it because you let a lot of stuff go. So yeah, I'm encouraging women listening to do this. Literally face the fear of sacrificing the old parts of yourself, the parts that don't serve you, or the entire old you. Sacrifice the entire old you and redefine yourself. Like, redefine who you are, who you want to be. If that means changing your name, change your motherfucking name. Tell these folks to call you what you want them to call you. If your name is Justice, tell them to call you Justice. If your name is Sherika, tell them to call you Sherika. If your name is whatever you want your name to be, tell people that is your name and address me as so. But it's the way you deliver stuff, so make sure we're being not snobby and with an attitude, ladies. Be nice. So yeah, I'm encouraging all of the women under the sound of my voice to get a piercing, cut your hair, do something different with your makeup, do something that the new woman in you has always wanted to do, but because of the old you that you're still holding on to, you're not able to fully execute that task. So sacrifice your old self and start becoming the woman you desire to be, the woman that you want to become for yourself first, then for your kids, then for your man, or however the order is y'all want to do it. Don't you one thing y'all don't gotta do is worry about me and my order. However order you want to put it in, as long as you're getting better for you first. That's all I'm going to say is mandatory. So yeah. I love y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Of course, let me know what y'all think. And we gonna go ahead and get into the last 10 minutes. Right? Let me check my time. So yes, it is about that time. And I am pulling from the self-love deck. Shout out to Ace Metaphor and the tonight's conversation. Um that is the deck of cards that I have. And I have pulled a card, and of course I'm going to read it to you all. It says, if your self-love was a song, which would it be and why? I honestly don't have an answer. Maybe I do. I think right now my self-love song would be Talk to Me Nicely by Tony Jones. That's her name, Tony Jones, Toni Jones, and it's called Talk to Me Nicely. It's a couple of her songs that I feel like are like the background music to my life movie right now. So, yes, ma'am, or sir, if you listening, my bad. My self-love song would be Talk to Me Nicely by Tony Jones. Of course, I want to hear what songs, like if your self-love was a song, which would it be and why? Oh, damn, it said why. Okay, why? Because I am working on talking nicely to myself, and yeah, just reminding myself daily that I'm the shit. And I'm also one of God's favorites. And I'm beautiful. Like, I'll start saying my affirmations on this podcast. So, yeah, moving right along. The call to action: try something new with yourself to introduce the new you to yourself. So, because remember, we're doing this for us, we're not doing it for nobody else. If you want to make it a public thing, you can. Like I cut my hair way before I told anybody about it, or way before I let anybody see it, because I did it for me. So I didn't really have to share it as soon as I did it. So yeah, that's the call to action. Try something new with yourself, whether it be a new piercing, a new haircut, a new hair color, something different with your makeup, you get a tattoo, like whatever. Just try something new, try something different that the woman you desire to be for the longest time authentically wants to do. Do what she wants to do. Listen to her and allow her to make the change she wants to make, whether it be a physical appearance, a name appearance, or anything. Just let her lead, follow her, submit to her, and be confident in her choices and learn to love her, because that's the new you. So, yeah. Share also your thoughts about today's episode. How has it enhanced you as a woman? And oh, honey, I done forgot the other question. What was the other question, y'all? And this is why I be asking them at the end, because I don't be remembering. How is this episode enhance womanhood for you moving forward? And what is your biggest takeaways? Answer me those two questions when you share your thoughts, and also share your pictures of whatever physical appearance you guys have done. if you did any, if you got a new name, I better see the Facebook name changed and reintroduce yourself to the group since you want to change your name. Okay, tell us who you are in it again then. So yeah, that is the call to action for the Facebook group. Of course, it is more intimate. Join the Facebook group and be a part of the conversation. Continue the conversation and be a part of the womanhood community that is brought to you by this podcast for the culture of our womanhood. My bad. I be going into advertising, y'all. I be marketing. My bad. So, toast to you, everybody. Glasses in the air. So, since no one has written in yet, with their toast or with their, things that they want acknowledgement for, it can go to me again. And I am toasting to myself because I am under contract with another property on the real estate side. For those of you who don't know me and are getting to know me, I'm also a real estate agent. I'm an Atlanta realtor. And yeah, so if you're looking to buy, sell, relocate, or invest, holla at your girl. Yeah, so toast to you, baby. We are under contract. We are looking to, or we are closing on March 3rd. And yeah, this client has been a breeze to work with, and I'm excited. This is my first time using the transaction coordinator, so I'm really happy about that. And I'm just grateful at how far I've come in this journey of life and coming out on the other end of those 7 years with more love, security, and confidence in myself, and also like credentials that I have to my name. So yeah, toast to me for a good week, and toast to the women under the sound of my voice that have their own accomplishments. Shout out to Faith Talks with Khadijah. That is another podcast that I want to encourage you guys to listen to. KD, I love you, girl. I'm glad that, because I talked to you about this and you was like, stop sitting on it, stop sitting on it. So now I'm out here being vulnerable and shit. But yeah, so shout out to Faith Talks with Khadijah. And yeah, be sure to check her out. She is also on Anchor. And I think she's on Spotify as well too, because that's how it links up. You can possibly, I listen on Anchor, so I'm not sure if she got the other stuff set up, but search it and find out. Or y'all could just hit her up on Facebook or Instagram. Well, I'm not gonna say that because I'm not gonna put her information just out there like that. But type in Faith Talks with Khadijah on Anchor and listen to the episodes on Anchor. And if you see that it's outsourced somewhere else, or give you the option to listen somewhere else, listen somewhere else. But to find it, go to Anchor and search Faith Talks with Khadijah. So yep, that is a wrap on our episode. Sacrifice your old self, become the woman you've always desired to be. I love y'all, and the credits are rolling now. Thank you all for joining me this week on another affair of a Single Mother Success podcast. The links to all of our info will be in the description of this pod and any other pod streaming service that you're listening to. It will be available in the description below. Remember to join the Facebook group, the private Facebook group, if you are a listener, and if you are a subscriber, go in there. There's a community there for you, community of women, and yeah, join the Facebook group. Subscribe. Subscribe to our weekly newsletter. that comes out on Sundays at 10 a.m. And it's called Real Success Through Perseverance, Letters of Legacy. So it's just, like I said, a newsletter, and it gives you a weekly affirmation and a weekly scripture and a video to carry you throughout the week until we meet on the podcast on Thursday. So yeah, stay engaged, interact with us, follow us on Instagram, and when you get in the Facebook group, introduce yourself. But yeah, I just want to thank you all for listening to another episode and interacting with us and joining us this week. Going forward, throughout this week, remember to take care of yourself, ladies. Love yourself, forgive yourself, and celebrate yourself on the daily, on the hourly, on the minutely, on the secondly, baby. And remember, toast to yourself, even if you by yourself. Just because you by yourself don't mean you alone, and just because you alone don't mean that you lonely. Love your company, and love to spend time with yourself, because at the end, ourself is all we have. So take care of yourself, and I will see y'all next week.